G'day YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to take a look at the Turbo Racing P32 4-channel radio and receiver. I picked up two examples of these from Asia Tees for 20 bucks a piece. So I wanted to have a look at the functions of the 4 channels. What's it good for? Why would you buy one? Can you run 4-wheel steering? Can you run winches? Can you run lighting and 2-speed transmissions and all of that sort of stuff? Let's dive in and take a look at the system. So the first thing that struck me about the P32 transmitter from Turbo Racing is it looks like it was made in the same factory as the FuryTech Avatar. It shares the same case, it has the same removable handle system. That's about where the similarities end. It has a backlit display, but it's different to the Avatar, and the interface for the channel 3 and 4 is completely different to the Avatar. So what I wanted to find out was, how useful is this thing? Why would you want to pick one of these up? For me, it was mostly to have a radio that could run more than one vehicle from the same transmitter, instead of toting a billion of these plastic things around that we are starting to amass. So it's nice to be able to just take one of these. It's super compact, throw it in your backpack, and you can drive one or more, I think up to 15 models with this one, so that's pretty cool. Little 4-channel receiver, it's the RX41 that comes in the kit with it. They're available separately for, I think they're around 10 bucks a piece, so pretty inexpensive to add more vehicles to your fleet without having to get another transmitter. I'm not really into unboxing videos. This is what the transmitter looks like inside the box. This is what one looks like out of the box. The steps in between are pretty easy to figure out. But you do get, in the kit, you get the receiver, and you get an instruction manual that is actually pretty handy to help navigate the menu system. The menu system's not the most advanced out there. In comparison to higher end radios, it's a little bit clunkier to navigate, but once you've played with the menu for about 2 or 3 minutes, it's really quick and easy to get to where you need to. You do end up cycling back and forth through the menu a little bit more, but if you know what setting that you want to go in there and change, it's pretty quick and easy to get to it. I won't go through all of that. But the important things to know are that all 4 channels on this thing have endpoint adjustment, which is actually pretty handy. Steering and throttle channels have exponential. So for me, using it on a rock crawler, steering expo is not really that useful, but exponential on the throttle channel may be useful depending on what ESC you're using. So it's pretty cool that it's got all of those features baked into it. Let's get a little setup going on the bench here so we can check out how channels 3 and 4 function. Let's take a look at the channel 3 and 4 functions and how they're operated from the transmitter here. So channel 3 is operated by this button here. When cycled, it just goes full left to full right. That'd be a great on-off signal for a set of scale lights or something like that. It could also, with the endpoint adjustments, be used to set up a 2-speed transmission, something like that. These 2 central buttons are used to operate channel 4. Plus and minus basically travels left and right in 3 positions. If you click it again and you're already full left, it goes right back to the beginning again. So that's going to be super limiting on what you can use that channel 4 output for. You could feasibly set up a rear steer from it, but it's kind of awkward to control. If you accidentally cycle too far, it goes all the way the other way. So not really something that is going to be useful for 4-wheel steering. Again, I was hoping that output could be used to operate a homemade servo winch, but again, it's too easy to go all the way one way and inadvertently reverse the output or operate the winch when you're not wanting to. So not super useful for my purposes. Again, this would be great for a 2-speed transmission. You could have high, low and neutral, but there's not a lot else that I can think of. If you can think of other cool uses for these outputs, leave a comment down below. I'd be interested to know what other ideas you guys have got, because for me, I'm mostly going to be using these as an inexpensive 2-channel, maybe to operate some lights here and there. In conclusion, I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit disappointed in the controls for channels 3 and channels 4. It would have been really nice to, say, have channel 4 set up on a fully independent dial, and have a 3-position switch set up somewhere for channel 3. That would have just really pushed the usefulness. It would have made it just a lot more versatile radio. As it sits, it's still a really good value if you're trying to get away from the multitude of stock radios and just condense all of your models down into one transmitter. This is a fantastic option for that. $10 a piece on the receivers. You could even, you know, run some 110 scale models, maybe even a boat, something like that. It just gives you a lot of options to move away from those stock radios and have one transmitter to operate everything. That's where I'm going to leave it for the Turbo Racing P32 4-channel transmitter. If I missed anything, if there's any specific details regarding the transmitter, leave me a comment down below. Literally while I was just filming now, our friendly postman Barry has dropped off the new Little Guy Racing Parts Trench Kings. This is the first tyre from them that has looked interesting to me. All of their other stuff just looks like super tall and super wide, and I haven't really paid much attention, but this one has a taller and narrower profile. It's reminiscent of an RC 4-wheel drive scrambler, so I wanted to check them out. I want to do some testing with foams versus 3D printed inserts, so that's something to look out for. If any of the information in this video was valuable to you, if you learned something, if it answered a couple of your questions, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.